The real rules inside the locker room, well, those aren't written down anywhere.
Would there ever be a player that took a shower at halftime?
Absolutely not. I used to think it was weird when guys would take their pads off.
Every NFL locker room has a code. So, today, we're counting down the 10 most interesting unwritten rules of the NFL locker room. Locker room music control. Ah yes, the battle for the aux cord. It might sound minor, but inside an NFL locker room, it is a major point of contention. It actually goes deeper than that. There's a whole power dynamic at play. Here's what you need to understand. NFL locker rooms are a very diverse place, and there's a wide variety of interests when it comes to music. So, from locker room to locker room, there can be a pretty wide variety of tunes being played. In some, you might hear loud rap music, brash jokes, and all types of vulgar language. While in others, it could be more country. Or rock and roll. It all depends on who controls the music. But who controls that music and what they play says a lot about the pecking order on that squad. And the players who do get the opportunity to set the tone for the locker room tend to take that responsibility very seriously. Just ask Dion Dawkins, who explained, "It's super fun, because you get to control the vibe. I call it the vibe creator. I'm the vibe creator, VC." Right now, NBA YoungBoy is the most popular artist among NFL players, mostly the younger guys. And the veterans, well, they're not exactly thrilled about it. Sheldon Day of the Commanders put it perfectly. The worst DJ has to be one of the rookies or second-year players. All they listen to is NBA YoungBoy. That's the only person they know. I don't understand it. They have no reach. They could listen to NBA YoungBoy all day. Not all teams are ruled unilaterally, though. The Cincinnati Bengals have taken a different approach. Joseph Osai serves as team DJ and says that it's not a dictatorship. They play rap, rock, and country. But on most teams, if you're a rookie, well, you better not be anywhere near that aux cord. Kangaroo court. Alright, this one's a bit of a personal favorite. You see, most NFL teams have what's called a kangaroo court, a mock justice system where players find each other for minor infractions. And here's the best part. You're guilty until proven innocent. In other words, it's an informal player-run tribunal to keep the team disciplined and aligned as they move toward a shared goal. Here's how it works. The team has designated sheriffs who record every single mistake. Late for a meeting? Pay up. Fall asleep in the meeting? Pay up. Don't know your assignment at practice? Well, you guessed it. Time to pay up. Over the years, we've heard some of the specific rules. $250 for showing up late to a meeting. $50 for generally disrespectful behavior, which typically only apply to rookies. You know, those sorts of things. But of course, the most important rules center around having your teammates back. We have one strong rule. No snitching. Former Texans linebacker and unofficial fine commissioner Brennan Scarlett said, "If you a snitch, it's a fine. If you tell on your brother, it's a fine." Usually the commissioners have a pretty good spirit about them though and pool the money for like a team dinner or trip or something like that. But it's still an important part of building a team culture. No going low for the knees. Alright, this one's actually kind of serious. You see, every player in the NFL understands that this game is their livelihood. This is how they feed their families. So there's an unwritten rule. Play the game straight up and never go for a guy's knees. When a defensive player is in position to form tackle and decides to take out the opposing player's knees instead, well, that's considered dirty, and that breaks the code. And here's the thing, if you violate this rule, it's not just the opposing team or league office that's gonna come for you. There have been plenty of rumors that in some of the more serious cases, it has been a dirty player's own teammates that get after them in practice to get them back on the straight and narrow. The locker room polices itself. And when it comes to protecting guys' livelihoods, well, they do not mess around. Rookies are seen, not heard. If you're a first-year player in the NFL, here's what you need to understand. Nobody cares who you were in college. Warren Sapp once told a rookie with dead seriousness, "Don't even talk to me until you've played in a game here." That's a mentality that a lot of vets have, especially back in the day. The locker room has a clear hierarchy. At the top, you've got the alpha dogs, the larger-than-life personalities who run the room. Then you've got the leaders of each position group. And at the bottom, you got the rookies. Even if you were a high draft pick, it's an important ritual for many organizations too, because many rookies come in high and mighty because they were the kings of the campuses they just came from and are in desperate need of a good humbling. What better way to do that than have the vets on the team now suddenly reduce them to a nobody? Don't dance on the logo. This is one of football's oldest unwritten rules. It is not okay for players to dance or trash an opponent's field, especially their midfield logo. And if you do, well, expect payback. The rule gets more attention in college games where transgressions happen more frequently, but that's not to say that we haven't seen plenty of NFL players mess around and find out. One recent example took place in a game between the Ravens and Titans. Before that game, Titans players gathered on the Ravens' midfield logo. This led to a heated exchange between coaches John Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel. And, well, the Ravens didn't forget. After a fourth-quarter interception by Marcus Peters, a group of Ravens defenders ran straight to midfield and danced on the Titans logo. Did they get flagged 15 yards for taunting? Yeah. Did they care? Absolutely not. Not with a W in the books and the satisfaction of a swiftly taken revenge. Carry the veterans' pads. Every rookie in the NFL learns this one on day one of training camp. When the veterans are done with practice, they're going to leave their helmets and shoulder pads there. And it's known that it is the rookie's job to carry them. If you complain, well, the response is simple. The vets will bury you and look for a new way to humble you. This goes just beyond pads, though. Your contributions on the field are obviously central to your success in the NFL. But in a sport like football, fitting into the locker room is crucial. And for rookies, well, that means bending the knee to the guys who paved the way for you. The kneel down truce. Ah yes, the unspoken ceasefire at the end of a football game. The defense is supposed to just let it happen. The game is over. But in 2012, Buccaneers coach Greg Schiano had a different idea. He told his defense to attack the Giants' offensive line during the kneel down. Eli Manning got knocked into his own center as he took the snap, and Tom Coughlin was furious in the most red-faced old man way possible. Unsurprisingly, Coughlin confronted Schiano at midfield after the game and had some serious choice words for him. The NFL ruled that it was completely illegal. The Bucs didn't break any actual rules here. But unwritten rules are not about what's legal, they're about what's respected. Don't hit the star QB in practice. This might be the most important unwritten rule in football. You never, and I mean never, hit the star quarterback in practice. Ever. This is a bit more of a modern rule, but it has quickly become one of the most important unwritten rules in the NFL. Never touch the franchise quarterback in practice. Ever. And that is completely regardless of intent. Doesn't matter if your momentum carried you, or if you're trying to simulate game speed, or trying to prove that you deserve more playing time, you just don't do it. Because when it comes to the franchise quarterback, the protection goes even further. And if you'll light up the starting QB in a practice rep, well, you might not have a job the next morning. The gift-giving hierarchy. In the NFL, gift-giving is treated as an art form. If you're a quarterback or a star player, well, you're expected to give gifts to your teammates. And if you go cheap, well, the locker room will judge you. Discussing costs is taboo, but we've certainly heard rumors of players admitting some teammates were far too cheap, and certain stars that have caught allegations for being constant cheapos. They range from unique, like Joe Burrow giving his offensive lineman custom Japanese katana, to practical, like when Russell Wilson gave Amazon stock, to downright awesome, like when Brock Purdy gave Toyota trucks, or Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry who gave diamond-laden custom chains. While these gifts have become the expectation, there's some decorum around the entire exchange. Players are not supposed to ask or even talk about the cost of the gift that they received, because the best gifts, like Burrow's katana swords, are not purely about the cost. Though, that does matter, but it's more about the thought and the quality of the presentation. The rookie dinner. Ah yes, the most expensive unwritten rule in football. Here's how it works. Veterans take the rookies out to dinner. They order whatever they want. And then, well, the rookies pay the entire bill. Which, when you really think about who makes the big bucks in the league, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But this is a long-standing tradition. In fact, it dates back to the 1970s after the AFL-NFL merger. But now, with how wealthy the vets are, well, it feels like the system is an artifact of the past, albeit one that probably isn't going anywhere. Here's how it works. Undrafted free agents pay a flat fee, drafted players pay a prorated amount based on their draft slot, and the first-round pick, well, he covers the rest. And sometimes these bills are astronomical. KJ Dillon got stuck with a $16,255.20 tab in 2016. The Green Bay Packers rookies paid $33,696.99, largely because of the alcohol. And then you got old Tom Brady. Fred Taylor told this story on the Pivot podcast about his time in New England. When the whole team went out on the rookies, the bill came back at $50,000 to $60,000. Why? Because Brady would buy a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 bottle of wine, take one sip, and say goodnight. And the rookies? Well, they paid for every single drop. But hey, which rule surprised you the most? Are there any unwritten rules that we may have missed? Let us know what locker room stories you've heard about in the comments. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.